Pariyerekom. Guys, can you hear me? Okay, good. انت بسك.
Çok lav. Inç pesek.
Lavem
Bunti.
shtrakalution. Lavem sirelineris aprekshad. Husavem tukelek lav. I hope you are also very well and you are motivated for today's lesson, my dears.
Ayo.
What? Sorry?
Ayo.
Ayo, shut lave. So, dears, what we are going to do today. At first, I would like to listen to your presentations about national cuisine and your comparison. I saw Tabarak's video in our group chat, and it was really nice, and it was exciting that we had kind of similar dishes. Now, guys, if you are ready for additional materials, I can give the floor to you, and you can begin. Anyone?
Yeah, may I start?
Yes, dear. Should I let you share your screen?
Yes, most probably. But first of all, I have a little question. Do we have enough time? I mean, I'll spend most probably around 20 minutes for this. Or shall I just send the longer video to our chat? What do you think?
I guess you can send the longer video to our chat because we are going to have a grammar topic as well. But if in the end we have time, I will let you share your screen again so that we can watch the video.
Okay. So what do we have now? Just let me.
Now you can share your screen, dear.
Okay, so just let me turn on the camera first of all. Okay. So, greetings, guys, first of all, and what I want to tell you today about. I would like to tell you a little bit about Ukrainian culture, Ukrainian cuisine, and about comparison with Armenian cuisine, of course. And let us start with comparisons. Well, when I've been searching for interesting information, because, well, if I'm Ukrainian, I usually cook Ukrainian cuisine. My family cooks Ukrainian cuisine, and when we're traveling, we're just trying, we're just tasting different cuisines when we're traveling around Ukraine, and we just don't notice how many dishes do we actually have. It's the first like similarity with Armenian cuisine because it's vast, diverse, and quite historical. So we have a really rich historical background. And well, when I've been searching for interesting facts to share with you, our cuisine was born in 5,000, between 5,000 and 27,000 BC. So it was almost like, like Roman Empire times, but it was Tripilia culture, something like that. I'll send it to you in the chat. So it was called Tripilia culture. And Tripilla was like a tribe, let us say, a tribe of farmers, which was one of the oldest tribe on our continent, let us say. And they were, as I said, farmers. They were doing perfect farming for those times. They were not warriors, for example, in opposition to Cossacks and Cossacks time in 17th century AD, as I told you before. But they created their own culture, they created their own cuisine, own dishes, and also cutlery for preparing, for cooking, and also serving those cuisine. They had an exquisite number of recipes and also exquisite recipes themselves. And by doing farming, so why farming? Why the first culture, why the first tribe which was residing on the territory of current Ukraine was mostly represented by farmers, because well, we are naturally, thanks to nature, thanks God, we are placed in the first place in the whole world by well, in the ranking of fertility of soils. So we have the most fertile soils in the world. And of course, they recognized this fact. They recognized when they were residing on our territory, and they started a farming tradition. They implemented farming tradition in our territories, and well, that's why farming was one of the most popular part and why our soil was quite rich, why our culture was also rich with recipes, because we were able to grow a lot of food, fruits, vegetables. We were not supposed to buy something, for example, but instead we were able to send something abroad, to sell something abroad, for example. Like later on, we started selling salt, yeah, and we had world's popular chumak shla. So it was it was the road of Chumak, specific Cossacks, but who were not warriors, but who were salt sellers. They were called Chumaks, but it will be a little bit later. Okay, so let us continue. If we're talking about our cuisine, it's also vast, diverse, and also different regarding the region. For example, when we are talking about it, it has different recipes, has different attitude to preparing and cooking, also serving dishes, using the cutlery, absolutely different cutlery. We also had a rich tradition of using oven for preparing dishes, and I also would like to show you how does the oven look like in our tradition, so that you will know, because we also have we are fond of using oven even today, but it's not like in Armenia, for example, because it's constructed in different way. And here you can also see our traditional ornament. So just let me share the screen. One second. Okay. And okay.
Yes, I guess we can
Okay.
see it. Wow.
Oh, yes. So this is our traditional oven, which was constructed inside the house, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, we construct it in most probably in a different way. Why? Because it can be constructed also in the usually when the family was a little bit richer, let us say, more prosperous, it tended to have a couple of houses on the same territory which belonged to them. And for example, the big oven could be constructed either in the center of the house if it was only one roomed house, let us say, or it could be constructed in the very entrance of the house. If, for example, the house would be two-stored, three-stored, and was supposed to be created for a couple of families, let us say. So it depended on the richness, let us say, on the prosperity of the family that we are talking about. Okay, yeah. One more.
May I ask something? Sorry for interrupting you, Dear. I just want to know whether you still use such ovens in houses or they remain just in restaurants or in cultural places, or it's an everyday, it has everyday uses.
So it depends, because of course in our multi-stored houses nowadays in skyscrapers we do not use any kind of
Mm-hmm.
wood. They're quite modern, and this tradition remains practical and active mostly on the western part of Ukraine, where they have their separate houses. For example, they would like to they would like to not just protect this tradition, but also to, let us say, implement it to the future generation. But it's not easy, yeah. So because this oven is used not just for cooking but also for central heating, let us say, and you are supposed to know how to preserve this oven, how to look for this oven, how to repair it, and there are not a lot of masters who can
Mm-hmm.
repair it, who are able to repair it. So it depends. It really depends, but mostly it is used in villages. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can say it's just in villages, not in every village, because our village is also more modern nowadays. But we try to protect this tradition, and at least if we
Mm-hmm.
buy older houses, uh, we try to preserve this oven. I know, at least like that, at least
Mm-hmm.
to show these ornaments, at least to remain it white, at least to make it um, viable for future generations, let us say. So I do really like our tradition. We do not destroy. We never destroy something um, that we even I don't know receive from our grannies, grandpas, and even if we buy house from grannies, grandpas. We never destroy such traditions. We try to restore it, try to preserve it, and try to show to the future generations. For example, it was exactly the same history with me because my grandmother had such an oven.
Mm-hmm.
But my parents also, once upon a time, I mean, it's 20 years ago, they have bought their first house in the village for, for just resting during the summer vacations. And there was an oven, but quite old, which wasn't absolutely preserved, and it was in the eastern Ukraine because I'm from
Mm-hmm.
Kharkiv. And my parents decided to restore the oven, decided to recreate the ornaments that were typical for our region, and decided to preserve this tradition. And many people were used to come to our house just to look at the oven, just to see how did it work, and it was actually functioning. So it was able to be used for cooking, for something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't use it, of course, because well, it's quite difficult to, as I said, it's quite difficult to be proficient user. It's quite difficult to also cook dishes on that. So you need to have more strength, more forces, and
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah. So what do we have? Speaking about ornaments, ornaments are also different from region to region. Sometimes you see flowers, sometimes you see different embroidery styles or ornaments which resembles different artificial, I don't know, animals, or yeah, rather animals and flowers, because well, we believe that oven does have its soul, for example, and every single constructor, so the person who was supposed to build the oven in the house, was supposed to give a part of his or her soul, mostly his, of course, his soul to this oven, and this soul was preserved inside this oven, inside his creation, and it was like a kind spirit of this oven, which was supposed to protect inhabitants of this house, of this village, and to heal them in case of their diseases. So our ancestors believe that if you are diseased, if you have bad humor, if you're I don't know, if you're afraid of something, you're supposed to come to the oven, to sit there and to let the oven protect you, let the spirit of the oven protect you, because
Mm-hmm.
the spirit of the fire will burn every single fear of yours. Yeah. So, and let's go back to our to our cuisine. I'll send to you a longer video, as I told you, a longer video about our dishes. But as I said, it
Mm-hmm.
was absolutely difficult to find like complementary video about all of our regions. It's mostly a comparison of all dishes that are popular in our culture.
Mm-hmm.
But as I've been searching for different dishes, I just recognized that it's not like a difference from region to region, from east to west, from north to south, but it's different uh, literally from village to village sometimes, especially in western Ukraine, for example. And the ornaments, for example, on the oven can be different regarding the village to village when you are traveling just around the country. And it's quite typical because we were under the influence of different cultures all the time, and the territory is quite vast, so it was supposed to be influenced by different culture. We possess the first, well, we are placed in the first place in Europe according to the territory. So we are the biggest country in Europe, and that's why, of course, it's really different what kind of dishes you can cook in the eastern Ukraine and western Ukraine, southern and northern Ukraine. It really differs because it also differs from food which you were able to farm, which you were able to produce on your own soil, and it also depends on recipes which were preserved from our ancestors, because tripilla culture, so our ancestors who created our cuisinery, they were also different, and they were creating different recipes regarding the territory that they were residing. So it's really interesting. And two main facts that I wanted to emphasize. The first fact is our one of the most popular cuisine is Ukrainian borscht. which I'll also send you to the group.
Yes, yes, I know it.
Finally,
And I
together.
like it.
Thank you. In 2022, it was recognized as the UNESCO Intangible Heritage. So it's protected by UNESCO. The recipe is protected by UNESCO nowadays. It was really interesting fact which I wanted to emphasize. And the second, as we tried, so when you started discussing Tolma, I wanted to show something which is quite close to us and something which is also popular and quite resembling regarding dolma. It's our holubci. I know that you know it as
Mhm.
well. And I'll send you, and I'll show you right now the video, which is showing how do we prepare, how do we cook holubci. It's quite short, but it's interesting and also to know how does it look like. Okay, just let me stop sharing for a second because I have to share my voice.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, just a second.
Mhm.
Where this video? And in the meanwhile, maybe you have some questions, guys.
Like connected to the last dish that you mentioned here, is it made with meat or only with vegetables?
With meat and vegetables, usually.
Ah, both.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So it's quite vegetarian friendly. Okay, it's quite vegetarian friendly. If you want to cook it just with vegetables, it's okay. But mostly we cook it both with meat and vegetables. Okay. Just a second, guys. Something on the connection. I think.
Okay, dear. I just wanted to know whether you are ready for the next dialect today or no, guys. Can we check it today or we should leave it for another lesson?
For the second dialect, you mean which one? Because we were supposed to check the first. Oh, sorry, we were supposed to check the first one, which we didn't check since the very beginning of August. I mean, you mean that one?
Yeah, yeah, maybe that's one if the one that we checked wasn't it. So, yes, that's one.
Okay, yeah. So we shall check it. So just a second. So I'm
Okay.
sharing the screen. Okay.
Hmm?
Um, okay. And let's go to yeah. Like, can you see?
Yes.
Have you ever tried Ukrainian cuisine? If not, you're in for a treat today. Bursting with richness and diversity, Ukrainian cuisine is a vivid representation of the country's cultural heritage. It's a delectable mix of flavors that paint a picture of Ukraine's fertile lands, hardworking people, and resilient spirit. One such dish that stands as a testament to this culinary diversity is holubtsi, Ukrainian stuffed cabbage rolls. A popular staple across Ukraine, holubtsi is a hearty and flavorful dish that is perfect for a cold winter day. The filling made of ground meat, rice and onions, wrapped in a tender cabbage leaf and cooked in a tangy tomato sauce, promises a unique taste that's sure to leave a lasting impression. Ready to explore the making of this Ukrainian delight? Hold on to your taste buds because they're about to embark on a savory journey. First, gather all the necessary ingredients. For a batch of authentic Ukrainian holubtsi, we'll need some cabbage leaves. They serve as the outer layer, wrapping up the filling and providing a soft, slightly sweet contrast to the savory inside. Next, we need our filling. Of ground meat, rice and onions. The ground meat, usually pork or beef, gives the dish its hearty texture. The rice acts as a binder, holding the meat together while also absorbing the flavors of the other ingredients. Onions add a little kick and make our holubtsi a feast for the senses. Our holubtsi wouldn't be complete without a rich tomato sauce. This sauce adds a tangy dimension and keeps our rolls moist throughout the cooking process. Finally, for serving, we have some sour cream. A dollop of creamy delight on top of hot holubtsi introduces a cool, refreshing note to this warm, comforting dish. Now that we have everything we need, it's time to start the cooking process. Making holubtsi involves a few steps, but the end result is definitely worth it. Let's dive straight into the cooking process, shall we? First off, we need to soften our cabbage leaves. This is done by boiling them until they become tender. It's a simple step, but a vital one, as it makes the wrapping process a breeze. While our cabbage leaves are boiling, we can turn our attention to the filling. This comforting mix is made of ground meat, rice and onions. It's essential to cook this mixture until the meat is brown and the onions translucent. The rice adds a beautiful texture, complementing the meat and onions perfectly. Once the cabbage leaves are ready, everything is cooked, time for the magic to happen. Each cabbage leaf is filled with a generous amount of the meat mixture, then rolled up like a small parcel. This process is repeated until all the cabbage leaves are filled. The next step is to place these little parcels in a pot, arranging them neatly. Now pour the tomato sauce over the cabbage rolls. This sauce will seep into the rolls as they bake, enhancing their flavor and making them even more delicious. Finally, bake the holubtsi until they are cooked through. The aroma filling your kitchen will be a clear indication that you're on the right track. After some patience and hard work, your holubtsi is ready. But hold on, we're not done just yet. The best way to enjoy holubtsi is with some sour cream on top. Picture this, a few steaming rolls of holubtsi, richly stuffed and generously sauced, sitting on your plate. Now, add a dollop of cool creamy sour cream. The tangy creaminess of the sour cream provides a beautiful contrast to the savory hearty holubtsi, elevating the flavors to a whole new level. And there you have it, a plate of delicious holubtsi, all ready for you to enjoy.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Looked really very delicious, and I had nice experience reminding our Dolbas taste. But I see there are some differences, and it's rather interesting for me how it will be taste it, and I hope one day I will have the chance to taste it. What I wanted to ask is whether this is the only and the main type of holubtsi, if I pronounce it right, or there are other types as well, like completely different types.
So this is the general type, let us say, something what we are showing to tourists, let us say, because there are a lot of tourists. We have a tradition of tourists which are coming to for eating to Ukraine, and this is the traditional recipe which we are showing to tourists, and we have also like vegetarian holubtsi, as I said, but usually the recipe is changing according to the region that you are just tasting. If you would like to, well, it's really nice if you are passionate about some kind of dishes in Ukraine, you are supposed to taste it by traveling from region to region because it's prepared differently, totally differently. We do not notice it mostly. We do not notice it if it's not like a drastic change from the very eastern Ukraine to the very western Ukraine. For example, when we are traveling, we used to travel from Kharkiv, which is very eastern part, to the very western part to go skiing for winter vacations with my family. And when you are making such a drastic change between the regions, you do notice the difference, especially when you do cook at home most of the time and you do love home cuisine. But if you are traveling from, for example, if I travel from Kharkiv, from my native city to Poltava, which is, I don't know, which is 200 kilometers from our city, so I'm not able to I don't know, to taste the difference, let us say. But I do know that a friend of mine, who is basically from Western Ukraine, from that absolutely Western Ukraine, who traveled to Kharkiv, to the very eastern part, once upon a time to visit me. She told me that she tasted holubtsi in Poltava and then in Kharkiv, and she noticed a very strategic difference, let us say, because she is passionate about holubtsi. Yeah, if you are passionate about one kind of specific dish, for example, and you're traveling around a region, you are quite attentive to those slight differences. But drastic differences are also presented, but mostly when you are, drastically changing the regions. That's really interesting clue. and it's more visible for I think it's more visible for tourist tasters, so for people who are tasting something for the very first time, or who are tasting not so often our dishes. Because when we are tasting it, we do not notice those differences mostly. So this is a very interesting clue. But I don't know that every single dish has at least 100 of different variations. It's typical for our cuisine just because of the number of regions, just because of number of let us say changes which implemented by different villages, and changes between, for example, city and the village. And I do know exactly that holopsy, which is prepared in my home, which is also like family tradition, is prepared according to a slightly different recipe than it is prepared by by our neighbors in the in the village where do we have our where we do used to have our house in the village. So it's 70 kilometers from Kharkiv, but it also has a slightly different cuisinary than a big city, let us say. So like that. What is really interesting, once the war will be over and everything will be okay again, and we also will be welcoming new tourists. I know exactly that uh, the uh, the the most let us say reasonable advice which I can give is just to try to taste it either in a local restaurant, so which is popular among Ukrainians, or try to taste it among your friends who are Ukrainians. For example, I do host a lot of my international friends who would like to come to Ukraine, and we also welcome them because when you're tasting natural Ukrainian food at home, it's a slightly different experience that it's given in the restaurant. So it's not supposed to be prepared or just cooked perfectly in the Michelin restaurant. It's supposed to be, because Ukrainian cuisine is more, let us say, homemade cuisine. It's not dedicated to obtain Michelin stars. Let us say that's it.
Yes, thank you very much. Why I asked such a question, because as for Armenian dolmas, they are completely different types of dolmas. I will try to find a video in order to present it visually, but we have completely different types. Like we cook it with cabbage, we have with grape leaves, and we have, I don't know, with vegetables different. It's called spring dolma, like connected to spring and flowers and stuff like that. And we have rosa dolma, which is made by dove and meat and so on and so forth. But again, these types have their, let me say, under types according to region and different regions. And yeah, thank you very much for your nice presentation. I'm just sending you hearts and lots of love.
Yeah, that's it.
Where is my heart? Here it is. Thank you very much for your information. And guys, if you have some questions, you can ask right now, or just write it to our chat box, and I think Darina will text you back. And if there are other people who want to show their national cuisines presentations, you are free. And if no, just let me know in order to move on. Once again, thank you very much, dear, for your amazing presentation. Anyone? No one? Okay, I guess no one. All right, dears. Now it's time. It's hard time to move from like tasty things to caramel part, but today we are going to learn how to conjugate the verb to have in Armenian, because as in English it has a bit different conjugation compared to the normal like full verbs and so on. But it's not very hard, because once you know the conjugation of the auxiliary verbs, you may easily find similarities and you may easily conjugate it on your own. So let me share the video. You can watch it. After it, we are going to look at the table that I have prepared, and we are going to do some exercises connected to the verb to have in Armenian. Let me share my screen.
Ողջույն մարդիկ. Hello people. Ես Շուշին եմ Հայասայից. I'm Shushi from Hayasa, and in this video we're going to learn to conjugate the verb to have in present simple tense. After that, we're going to learn some additional vocabulary, basically nouns and adjectives that you can use with the verb to have and form some simple sentences. So let's get started. The verb to have in Armenian has different forms for each personal pronoun. Let's learn them now. So I have is yes unem. Yes unem. You have will be du unes or duk unek. He or she has na uni. We have menk unenk. You have duk unek, and the last one they have will be նրանք ունեն. Let's summarize this. I'll only say the Armenian versions. Ես ունեմ, դու ունես or դուք ունեք, նա ունի, մենք ունենք, դուք ունեք, եւ the last one նրանք ունեն. Alright people, I've got some objects and now we'll learn the names of these objects and we'll try to form sentences with them. So first of all, I've got 4 pencils. You already know the numbers. Help me to make the sentence. So, yes unem chors, pencil is matit. Yes unem chors matit. Also, I have pens. Yes unem գրիչներ, pens. Ես ունեմ 2, 2, սև գրիչ, black pens, and make 1 կարմիր գրիչ. I've also got a book, an interesting one. Ես ունեմ մի շատ very հետաքրքիր, interesting book, գիրք. Ես ունեմ մի շատ հետաքրքիր գիրք. Հետաքրքիր, this is a word that you might be having trouble with pronouncing. հետաքրքիր. It means interesting. And the last wing, տետր. Ես ունեմ մի շատ գեղեցիկ տետր. A very beautiful notebook. I love this notebook. Ես ունեմ մի շատ գեղեցիկ տետր. Մի հետաքրքիր գիրք, 4 մատիտ, 2 սև գրիչ և 1 կարմիր գրիչ. Իսկ դու ինչ ունես? What do you have? Actually, for your homework, I want you to go to the comment section below and tell me what you've got. You can check the PDF document that I'm going to attach to this video. You will have more nouns and more adjectives. Try to form your sentences and I will check. Let's sum up here. If you are looking for an Armenian teacher, you can find my contact information below. Also, in the comment section, let me know what you want my next video to be about. Thank you very much for watching this. It was Shushi from Hayasa. Հաջողություն. Մինչ next հանդիպում. Մինչ մյուս հանդիպում.
All right, my dears. This was the whole video connected to the verb to have. I find it actually easy because, as I have already mentioned, you might find a lot of similarities connected to the auxiliary verb in general. Now I'm going to share another table and we are going to have a discussion connected to that part, and you may find similarities that I am talking a lot about. Here it is. So, dears, how to say to have in Armenian? Anyone? Ունենալ. Okay, so it will be ունենալ. As you know, it has ending al, the same as for the infinitive to. Now, guys, here we have the table for the verb to have This part is for pronouns, but singular ones, like yes, to, na. This is the part for pronouns, but in plural. Մենք, դուք, նրանք. And here we have, in this both columns, the verb to have conjugated both in present and past tenses. I think it will be easy for you to learn them at the same time in order to fix and have solid ground for both tenses, because I guess in the next lesson we are going to learn also future tense of the verbs. So like with to have, we will finish present and past versions of conjugation of the verbs. Okay, my dears, so what we have here? Yes, unem. Like if you know, if you may recognize, it's M and S. The same auxiliaries for yes and to. We just took the first un. Then we have unem, unes. And instead of saying like un e, na e, right? We just add i, uni. So unem, unes, uni. Got it? Then we have unen, unek, unen. The same auxiliary verbs. Մենք, ենք, դուք, եք, նրանք, and they're just exactly the same. We just kind of put them together with the main verb, okay? We don't add other auxiliary verbs. We just mix them together. As for the past version, again, we may find similarities like yes, a, right, past version. So here we have une, but please notice the fact that in this case, when we have a in the middle of the word, it's not a separate, its own word. No, it's not. It's a part of the main word. We change, we replace e into ye, but again, we read it as e. Okay, just for spelling. So unei, again, yes, a. To eir, here we have uneir. Again, just changing e into ye, but pronouncing in the same way. And naer, uner, in the same way. Then, meng ein, here we have uneing. Tuk eik, tuk unei, like you had. Նրանք ունեին, we remember նրանք ein, the same way. Okay, guys? So let me read once again and translate into English for you to be clear. So, yes, unem, I have. Tu unes, you have. Na uni, he, she, or it has. I had, yes, unei. You had, tu unei. He, she, it had, na uner. Now for the plural part. Մենք ունենք, we have. Դուք ունեք, you have. Նրանք ունեն, they have. We had, մենք ունեինք, you had, դուք ունեիք, and they had, նրանք ունեին. Got it, dears?
Yes.
Good job. Now I'd like you to read this part. Who wants to begin? You can read the first part, like singular part, then we are going to read plural part and also do some exercises. Yes, yes, dear, you can start, sure.
So, yes, unem,
Mm-hmm.
yes, nei. Tu unes,
Very good.
tu uneir,
Mm-hmm.
Na uni.
Mm-hmm.
Na unesh.
Good job. Very good. The next part. Tabarak or Ella girls who wants to read the plural part? No one? Okay, I guess.
Unem,
Uh-huh.
unem, unes,
Very good.
unes,
Mm-hmm.
ready,
Okay,
un,
so let's read the past version as well. Unei,
unei,
uneir,
unei,
uner.
unes.
Good job. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, I guess Darina, you can read the next part as well, and we can repeat the exercise for you to memorize it well. Okay, read the next part as well, and we are going to read it again.
So menk unenk. Menk unenk.
Mm-hmm.
Tuk unek. Tuk uneik.
Good job.
Nerank unek. Unen.
Mhm.
Nerank unein.
Very good. Okay, Tabarak or Ella, girls, who want to read this part as well?
Ayo,
Ah,
look,
yeah. Կարող ես կարդալ. You may read.
look and unek,
Mm-hmm.
look and unek,
Mm-hmm.
look unek,
Նրանք ունեն.
melak unen,
Very good. And as for past version, ունեինք.
unei,
Good job. Ունեիք.
uneik,
Very good. And ունեին.
uneim.
Very good, girls. All right, dear Tabarak, no worries. You can just join whenever you are ready. No worries. Girls, now I'd like... Joshua is not with us. Okay, so girls, now we can do the exercise. We are going to translate these sentences into Armenian. So I will help you in some unknown, unfamiliar words, but I'd like you to try to translate it on your own. Okay? I will just give you 1 minute to prepare, and after it, we can start and check it. So the first sentence is, I have many friends. It's in present. Then you had a car, past. She has a pen, present. And he had a pencil, past. Okay, let me help you guys. So many friends will be shut. Shut.
In kernel.
Very good. Shut and gezner. So how to say, okay, dear, you have just started, so complete the sentence. How to say, I have many friends.
Yes, unem shat in kernel.
Very good. Yes, unem, shut, and gezner, and full stop. Okay, how to say, I had many friends.
Yes, unei shat in kernel.
Good job. Ella, dear, can you translate the next sentence? I will help you.
I'm here.
Yes, my dear. Ayo. So let's try to translate the next sentence. How do you say you in Armenian?
Yes, yeah.
No, it's tu. Yes will be I. And you will be tu.
Do une,
Look,
do une,
here we have head. So we
do.
should. Mhm.
It is look or doom.
It's two. It's two. No need to put like formal version, okay? Or just we can take plural version as well, but I guess singular will be better here. So two. Then past version of have in Armenian will be
Do,
good. Uneir,
une,
very good. Uneir because it's in past.
oh,
And car. Do you know, girls, how it will be car?
no, I don't
No?
know.
Yeah. Mekana?
Very good.
Darina, would you repeat?
So I didn't really know if it was Mekana because I didn't remember.
Yeah,
I tried
it's
to
mekana. What?
Mekina.
Mekana.
Mek-
Or
try.
girls, after mekana. Or after mekana. What's the difference here? Mekana is like car, but it also refers to machine, like washing machine in Armenian will be lvatsky mekana. Okay?
Mekina.
And as for auto mekana, it's like automobile, right? Auto car. But no difference. You can say, I have yes unem mekana, and I will understand that you have a car and we can go somewhere together.
But you
No?
do not use the word something like auto, or do you use it?
Auto mekana,
Or just auto? Do
just
you use the word auto?
auto, like, yeah,
Yes.
we use it, but it's not the formal version.
Okay.
We use it. We will understand it in a better way, by the way, and in a quicker way than after mekana. But it's not the formal Armenian. It's just
For
the
beginners.
dialect that we speak. After. Okay. So, dear Ella, please read once again this sentence. Tu uneir after mekana.
Do une after do
Mekana.
mekina.
Good job.
Do une mekina.
Շատ լավ է. Ապրես.
Lavmes.
Okay, my dears. So, Tarina, dear, read the next sentence. Dear Faisal, whenever you are ready, just unmute yourself and just start speaking. Yes, dear. How to say she has a pen?
Na uni kriç.
Very good. Na uni kriç. And how to say she had a pen?
Na uniş kriç.
Uneş.
Uneş.
Right. And how to say she has pens?
Na uniş. Uneş. Une.
Oh, okay. No difference. Uneş, let's say.
Okay. Kriçneş.
Very good. Yes. Now uneş, kriçner. We just add ner. Or sometimes er, but it depends. As for English, S or ES. Good job, dear. And Ella, the last sentence here. He had a pencil.
He had a pencil.
Mm-hmm. He, she, it is exactly the same. It's na.
Na
So, past version.
Na de na na du du du
Unes.
unes
Unes.
na unes
Very good. Na unes.
matiti in
Yes.
our language is like a breast, a woman breast. In Swahili we call it matiti.
Good job. Now, unes matit. Can you make the sentence in present? Present.
Present, she have a pencil.
Yes.
That's present.
This is the present. We just need to change it into matit.
Present is una.
Uh-huh.
Un yes, una matiti.
Right. You just said, I have a pencil. Good job. And when we need to say like he has a pencil in present, it will be again na uni instead of Greek, just matit. Okay, guys. So is this clear for you, dears? Questions connected to this part or maybe this part? All right, to be honest, I have prepared another material as well, dears, but I think I will leave it for another lesson because I just want you to have enough time to learn and understand and learn it by heart, the conjugation of the verb to have for the next lesson. So that's why I'm not going to give you any other topic or study it together. Girls, just learn this part, the conjugation of the verb to have, both, please, both in present and past tenses, because once you are done with this, you can say that you know past and present the versions of the conjugation of the verbs in Armenian, though there are other tenses as well, but the main ones and the most understandable ones you can already know, girls, and just be very let me say comfortable and know that what you want to say, everybody will understand you, because these two tenses you know, and the future tense we are going to learn. So past, present, and future, I find the most important ones in each language, girls. So you are two steps closer to the finalizing part of the conjugation. Okay, my dears, if you don't have other questions, I guess I can just let you know about your home task and let you free. Let me see. Okay, yeah, and I have found an additional material connected to the handwritten version of the Armenian alphabet. I will send it to our group chat, and if you have time or wish, you can watch it and try to write in Armenian once again and learn it. It's an old video, I guess, or not in a very good quality, but anyway, that guy has very beautiful handwriting. Even more beautiful than I have, and it will help you to make better your handwriting in Armenian. Okay, my dears, your home task will be to translate some sentences into Armenian, and also, girls, get ready for making those sentences interrogative, just remembering that we put the interrogative, the question mark on the word that we want to clarify. So you have a pencil, will be tu unes matit. And if I want to ask whether it's you, that verb person you, that have pencil or another one, I will just put the stress on the word you. So it will be tu unes matit. And if I want to know whether you have pencil or pen, I will put the stress on the word pencil. So I will say tu unes matit. And if I want to know whether you have or you don't have pencil, I will stress the word have, so it will be Tunes madid. Okay, just we put the question mark on the word that we want to clarify, the part that we want to clarify, and accordingly we change our pronunciation. It's rather easy, girls, and we are going to study it in a more detailed way in our next lesson. Okay, my dears, thank you very much for joining today's lesson. It was very nice. During this lesson, I didn't only teach something, but I also learned a lot of new things. Thanks to you girls and also the discussions that we have in our chat. Thank you very much. And I guess we can have a group screenshot today. If you can, girls, please turn on your cameras so that we can have a group photo. Okay, let's say 1, 2, and 3. Very good. So nice. Okay, my dears, if you don't have any questions or comments, you are free. Thanks for joining. Հաջողություն եւ ձեզ լավ նայեք. Take care.
Let's love with. Let's just tune.
Տնտեսություն